Hey girl, you coming to say hi? You like eating fingers? Get my hand out of your mouth. Oh yeah, you're a cutie. You're a cutie. Yeah, you like that, huh? Yeah, yeah. What about you? You gonna be nice? No, you a little shy? That's okay. I should have some treats for you, girl, but I don't. You like my hammer? Don't eat my hammer. I I use that. Thank you. No? Okay, whatever. There we go.
Hey guys, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Welcome to 2024. New Year's here, and this time of year is kind of special for me. There's a lot of things happening towards the end of the year and the beginning of the year. For one, my birthday's coming up. In fact, by the time you guys see this video, my birthday's going to be the next day, so that's always fun and exciting. New Year's is always an event, of course, and around this time is when we celebrate the birthday of this channel too. And so once a year, I try and do a little bit of a recap of the channel and kind of reflect on the past year and just kind of ponder how things have been going and take a little trip down memory lane. Now, by the way, this is the first video I'm recording with the goatee. Not sure how I feel about it yet. We'll see. I did this yesterday, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm actually filming this on the 1st, so yeah, I might just go back to the mustache. We'll see. I definitely do prefer the full beard, but I want to try something different. So, in today's video, we're going to go ahead and just talk a little bit about the channel, because this channel is now 3 years old, which is kind of crazy to me. It's crazy to me. For longtime viewers who have seen my videos in this style in the past, there's probably going to be a lot of old information. We're going to go over kind of the history of the channel, why I started the channel. So a lot of you guys have probably already heard that, but we have a lot of new people in the audience. The channel grew quite a lot this year, and you know what? Maybe some new viewers will find this video to be interesting. So let's go ahead and talk about it. I started the first video I uploaded to this channel was on December 28th, 2020. And I think there was a lot of channels born around that time, right? Kind of middle of pandemic type of stuff. I definitely started the channel as a kind of a creative outlet, kind of a way for me to spend my time productively. The pandemic was rough for me. It was not a fun time. I was just when the pandemic started, it was my first semester, my first year at college, and everything got shut down, got sent home, and it was a bad semester. It was rough, and I got to feeling pretty down. I felt like I had run into a wall, and I needed something to keep my mind active. And so I started the channel, and because I've been watching a lot of knife YouTube, I've been watching, you know, kind of the classics I started with, Metal Complex, Nick Shabazz. It's been so long since that channel's been around, I forgot the name of it. My goodness. Slicey Dicey. Oh gosh. And I was watching a lot of them, and I thought, you know what, that looks fun. I'm gonna go ahead and start a channel. And so I did. And I'd had experience with YouTube before. When I was in high school, my cousin and I, we started a YouTube channel, and it was sketch comedy. I'd sit down and I'd write the sketches, and then we'd film them together on this little camcorder that my parents had. And so I was familiar with, you know, making videos, and I've always been obsessed with videography and things. When I was a kid, I was always making videos and stuff. I was a theater kid. I did a lot of theater acting, singing and stuff when I was younger. And so I decided that, hey, you know what, let's start filming stuff. Now the knife review format was completely new to me. That was something that I, you know, never even really thought about doing before. But I was, you know, really into knives and stuff. I was really enjoying all the content I was watching, and I decided I wanted to try that out. So I decided that for my first video, I was going to have to review a knife that was brand new. And around that time, Syncut was, they were the new kids on the block. And so I went out, I bought a Syncut Scepter. And this was the first knife I reviewed, and this knife has stayed in my collection all that time because, you know, it's got that memory. This is the exact same one. I had brown micarta scales. I dyed these blue at some point, and they look, okay. The micarta on this thing wasn't ever real great, but I bought this knife, and it was a very special knife purchase for me because I purchased it just for this channel. I purchased it just to do this review for. And I have that video pulled up right here. You can see my old thumbnail there. What a thumbnail, right? Look at that. What a thumbnail. I remember making that too. I just took a picture of the knife on a desk and then, you know, put the words in. I was like, yeah, that looks like a good thumbnail. I still had a lot to learn. I filmed the review. I was back home again. I got sent home from college, and so I'm home in, you know, it was around Christmas time. I think I filmed the video a couple days before Christmas, then didn't release it till the 28th. But I went to what we call the old ranch house. It was actually a house that when my family and I first moved here to the family ranch, we lived there, and it's a really neat little house. It started off as a train station. Well, actually, it started off as a little hut built by some Spanish sheep herders back in the early 1800s, a little adobe. And then it was built onto a little bit later in the late 1800s and was made into a train station. And then eventually the train ceased to exist. The rail line went out, and my grandfather, great-great-grandfather, bought the area. He built onto the house, made it into kind of a farmhouse. So that's what, yeah. So this is a house I grew up in. We lived here when we first moved to the ranch. This is the old ranch house. It's really interesting because if we come over here, this part of the ranch house, right, this part used to be the railroad station.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the kitchen's part of it too.
So there's an old railroad station. An old town used to be here, and this was the railroad station. So then my great-great-grandpa added other rooms to the house, and now it's our ranch headquarters. A lot of memories here.
Yeah.
All of the cousins get measured up here. Look, there's me in 2015. Down this hallway is where my bedroom was, behind this curtain in this little cave, which
Yeah.
is now a storage facility. Still got some of my posters on here.
Oh,
But when we first lived here, our parents just slept on a mattress in the living room.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, bro. Let me see that flashlight. I saw some of the dads in there, huh?
Wait, what?
So my brother just reminded me, my dark little room back there with the cave, no windows or anything. And when we lived in here, at one point I had a concussion. I got smacked in the face by a gate one day. And I laid there in the dark, went to the hospital. When I got back, I laid in there
For days.
just trying to recover. And yeah, I guess that was one good thing about having a room with zero lighting. There's a little light bulb in the ceiling. You have to pull a string, but yeah. I did lay there in the dark for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So I went over to that little house, and I set up on a table with a red shirt stretched over this plastic table. And for my filming stand, I took a styrofoam box. I didn't have any, like I've got a tripod right now, I didn't have any of that back then. I took the styrofoam box, and I had a selfie stick. I took the styrofoam box, and I stuck the selfie stick to the top and put my phone in there, and that was what I used to record the first video. And in fact, if we look here, you can see that red background. That was an old shirt that I had just stretched over the table, and I did that for quite a while. That was kind of my my go-to for the channel. So yeah, where has the channel come since then? Well, it's come a long way. I've kind of, personally, I feel like I've kind of settled into, how do I say this? I figured out who I am as a creator on this platform. I'm pretty comfortable with the style of my content. I know what I want to put out there, and I know how I want to structure my videos, which when I started off, I absolutely did not know. There's a lot of things that changed throughout the channel, right? When I first started the channel, I had no intention of ever showing my face. And in fact, for the first 8 months of the channel or something like that, I can't remember how long it was, yeah, I did not show my face, ever. Even when I did certain cutting videos, I would do cutting footage stuff, but I wouldn't show my face. I'd always make sure the camera was, chest down, and I'd just, keep whatever I was cutting down here. And then it was during the review of the QSP Hawk that I accidentally showed my face in the video, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to edit it out. I'm just going to go with it and see what happens. And then I discovered that it's a lot easier to film a video when you're just talking to a camera, right? If you're looking at it, it works out. And so I started doing that. The cutting footage is something that I started fairly early on in the channel, actually. I started inserting little segments of me cutting stuff with the knife that I was reviewing, and eventually this has evolved to the point where it is kind of a staple of my channel, and I try to make it a special part of every review. We take the knife, we go somewhere where there's beautiful scenery, I set up in the back of my truck, and I figured out what mediums I like to use. I do the cardboard slicing because cardboard's an abrasive material, a lot of people cut it, and it's also very visually satisfying. When you're cutting cardboard and you see that, shoof, and things just fall apart, it makes for good video, it makes for good eye candy. And then the rope is kind of a test of edge durability. When you do the little pull through, that tells you a lot about it could be the sharpness of the edge, but also a little bit about the robustness, and then especially when you're crunching down on that rope on a table, you can feel how strong that knife is behind the edge. And then the pool noodle is to show how the geometry is done. And my idea for the pool noodle came from a magazine. It was what was it? Knives Illustrated or Blade magazine? I can't remember. I don't even have it with me anymore. But it was an old magazine that I dug out of the trash at a post office when I was a kid. But there was an article in there where this guy who would review knives, he'd write a little bit towards the back of the magazine. I can't remember what the segment was called. I feel terrible. But one of the things that I remember, he was reviewing this little fixed blade that this custom maker made, and he was cutting foam with it, and he said, I can feel that the grinding is off. I can feel that the edge is not super refined. It's not very thin. And I read that and I was like, you know what? I need to test it out. So I got myself some foam, I got myself some pool noodles, and I started cutting with a bunch of different knives. And eventually I got to the point where, yeah, I could feel that difference. I could feel when the knife had the good geometry. I could feel when it didn't. I got a sense for, okay, knives should feel this way and they should not feel that way. And then I decided that the pool noodle is the best medium to illustrate that with. And so that's where the pool noodle cutting came from. And the scenery came from the fact that this channel is kind of my way to relax. This is a hobby for me. This is my kind of de-stressor. And so one of the things I also love to do to de-stress is just go out and be in the wild. And I said, I thought to myself, I can kind of mix the two. I can do my review cutting out in these places where I go hiking. It's beautiful. I can show off some great scenery. And, it's been that way ever since. And I think a lot of you guys like it. I definitely enjoy it. And even if you guys don't like it, I'm going to keep doing it. But, yeah, so that was kind of the genesis of the review cutting. And then also, excuse me if I'm like scratching myself or something. I went and fed the cows this morning. I've got hay all down my shirt and in my hat and like everywhere, and it's itchy. But yeah. So we're now at 2,000 subscribers going into 2024, and I'm making money off of this channel. Not a lot, obviously. Like it's not a paycheck, right? But something that happened in 2023 that I was really, really excited about was, in October, I used YouTube money to buy groceries. And that was cool to me. That was really, really awesome, and it felt good. It felt very, I don't know, it was just nice. And I thought that was fantastic. This year I've also, let's see what else. I've got some new equipment. This computer right here, for example, this is a new laptop I've been editing with. Need to get a new camera eventually, but we'll see. Cameras are expensive. But I've had a lot of fun on the channel this year, and 2023 was a great year for me overall, not just on the channel, but off the channel too. 2022 was a really rough year for me, and to be honest with you guys, a lot of the early part of the channel, when I was making the channel, was rough times for me. Once I did, for example, I mentioned that QSP Hawk video. When I filmed that video, I was in this little apartment down in the city, living by myself. The pandemic was still in full swing, and all my classes were online. I'm still trying to do school. I was still, struggling to do school, trying to do it kind of, part-time, wasn't loading myself down with classes, which, kind of put me behind on some things. But the other thing too was I was here alone. All my classes were online, so I wasn't going out and talking to people. Had a hard time finding a job because of the pandemic. I mentioned this before on other channels, but I got involved in a pyramid scheme, which made me some good money for like a little bit, and then I realized that I was getting in over my head and had to quit that. And I was just overall just depressed, just real depressed. And moving on from that, even when things started opening up a little bit, started going and, interacting with people more, had a whole lot of other things go down. My channel, I had a couple of deaths in the family that really affected me. A death in the family that was unexpected and gruesome and way too soon. And those hurt a lot. Had some family emergencies that were life-changing, to be honest. And I had a relationship, a long-term relationship that I was pretty invested with that fell apart. I was starting to feel kind of, upset about the whole pandemic thing. Was kind of, I felt like it was putting me behind in my schooling, and just for a long time just wasn't doing all that great. And this channel was my place to just kind of escape all of that for a little bit. And then coming into 2023 again was a great year for me. This was a fantastic year. I feel like I got back on my feet. I was doing things that I love, and getting involved in research, getting involved in extracurriculars, being, working at the museum has been really, really great for me. It's been good. It's been really, really good. It's been really therapeutic. And I gotta say, I owe a lot of that to you guys, to a lot of the friends and relationships that I've built on this platform or on Instagram, just through this channel. I've made some friends that have absolutely changed my life and really kind of saved me, if I'm being honest. I'll say real quick, I used to be one of those people that felt that you couldn't make meaningful online relationships. I don't know why I felt this way. I just had this bias, I guess. I was like, those aren't real friendships, right? But I learned pretty quickly that is wrong. I have made great friends through the knife community, through this online platform that mean a whole lot to me. Viewers, other YouTubers, just friends that are genuine, real friends, even though I've never met them in person. And that's a great thing. That's a great thing. Modern technology is fantastic, right? But it has been fun this year to see how my channel can change and evolve when I'm in a better place mentally, right? And I hope you guys have been able to see that in the content too. It's been really, really fun to explore the channel in a more creative way and try and do more things. And going into 2024, I want to try and make more videos like my video I made on modern traditionals. I want to make more like essay topics. I want to make videos that are more kind of like in-depth dives into the history of knives and knives of different cultures and things like that. I want to kind of make documentary style projects. Of course, I'm going to keep reviewing stuff. I'm going to keep doing goofy videos, all these things that you guys know and like. So nothing's changing on the channel, but I'm really looking forward to what we come up with in the new year. And I've got some great suggestions from you guys for videos that you want to see, and I'm working on making some of those. And as always, if there is a video you guys want to see me make, tell me about it. Leave a comment, and I will do my damnedest to make that video happen, because I really do love video suggestions. They're really, really fun and kind of a challenge to me sometimes. So what I'm trying to say here is thank you guys. Without you, the channel wouldn't be happening. It wouldn't be what it is. And what it is something that I think is pretty cool. And hopefully you guys do too. But yeah. Let's see, what else do I need to cover in this video? So we went over channel history. I guess more on just what's coming up on the channel here. Soon, we've got the review of the Devo Knives Growler. You guys probably saw that yesterday. Best Tech Slasher XL. I love this knife. This thing's fantastic. Review coming soon. Been carrying the snot out of that one. One that I'm really excited about that you guys will be seeing later in January. The CJRB Resource. I started off kind of lukewarm on this knife, but it's a good one. So keep an eye out for that. We also got a review of the CJRB Frac coming up. So we've got some really, really cool stuff going on. But yeah, I think that I've said just about everything I need to say. Here we are, 3 years later in the channel. I'm 3 years older, which it's crazy. This channel has kind of grown side by side with me. And sometimes I look back at some of my older videos and I'm like, gosh, that was rough. I will say, this video here though, I have a pretty fantastic line, I think. Look at this guy. This is the Suncut Knives Scepter. See?
Man, my lighting is terrible. That's okay, we're gonna roll with it. So, this is a pretty new knife, and there's actually a lot to say about it, but...
I gotta say, not much about my delivery has changed in 3 years, has it?
Before I get into all that, I want to say, if you're new to the channel here, go ahead and consider clicking subscribe. Also, I know all of you are new to the channel here because this is my very first video. So, checkmate.
That's a great line. That was fantastic. That's, you know, my first 28 seconds of YouTube. I think that was a great line. I don't think I've topped that since. But yeah, and actually that video hasn't done too bad for a first video. My second video that I ever uploaded was a review of the Cold Steel SR1 Lite, and that is my most watched long form video ever, which is just bizarre to me, but you guys love Cold Steel. Whenever I make a Cold Steel video, it does well, even way back then, so just need to review a lot more Cold Steels. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty, thank you guys again so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, comment below, and subscribe. Couldn't be doing this without you guys, and it means the world. So, I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.